Hello, third graders. This is Math Expressions 2018 edition, Unit 4, Lesson 9, which can be found on pages 271 and 272 of your student workbooks. You're also going to need your analog clock, or you can use the iTools clock found in Think Central. In this lesson, we are going to be exploring a concept called elapsed time. Elapsed time is defined as the time that passes between the beginning and the end of an activity. So for this, we might be able to do some of this just using mental math, but we're also going to use our clock tool to help us see the elapsed time. I want you to stop and think about what units of measurement do we use when we are measuring time. If you're thinking hours, minutes, seconds for this activity, you would be almost completely correct. We are not using seconds, but we are using hours and minutes. So if we have a start time, the elapsed time is the time that is gone by. Now, we could be thinking about this in terms of going forward or going backward. It looks like right now we're going forward. So if we start at 1 o'clock p.m. and 2 hours goes by, what is the end time? Well, I'm going to set my clock by moving my hour hand. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to use this over here. So I'm going to make that 1 o'clock. And I'm going to close that. And if I go around the clock 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, where's my hour hand now? 2 hours have gone by, so the time is now 3 o'clock p.m. And we are using the p.m. today. So 3, and then we got those 2 little dots, 3 o'clock p.m. Okay. Looking at the next one. We're going to start at 4:15 a.m. and the elapsed time is 4 hours. Well, this time I think I'm going to set this to 4:15. Was it a.m.? Yeah, it was a.m. And that's important for us to use today. So if we think about that, I'm going to set this to the same time. I'm setting this clock also to 4:15 a.m. If you have your analog clock, set your clock to 4:15. If you're using the iTools clock, set the clocks to 4:15. Now, looking back at the elapsed time, it told me 4 hours went by. 4 hours. We're not talking about minutes yet. We're talking about hours. So I am going to change my end time and increase it by 4. So 4:15 to 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, 8:15. Let's take a look here. How many hours have gone by? Well, we're going from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 to 8. Yep, that's definitely 4 hours that have gone by. So the new time after 4 hours is 8:15 a.m. And so I'm going to record that here. Okay, the next one is switching from hours to minutes. So we have the time that starts at 4:55 p.m. and 18 minutes go by. All right, 4:55 p.m. I'm going to close that and I'm going to change this to 55. Lots of clicking. Maybe I can do it quicker this way. p.m. Okay. Well, if I wanted to, I could also count the minutes to see where it goes, or I could set my bottom end time for the same time that I've got up here. Change that to PM. And I can increase the minutes by 18. So we can see that we're starting and ending at the same time, but we want to change our end time to increase by 18 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, the time that has gone by, you can see that the minutes are right here. And now we've got that little slightly less opaque, more opaque. You know what I mean? It's more see-through down here that represents the little bit of the hour that went by, because those are the hour hands. And here we've got the minute hands that represent the 18 minutes of elapsed time. So it went from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And the new time is 5:13 p.m. Okay, let's take a look at the next one here. Now we're looking at a start time of 2:15 a.m. And this is an unusual time. It's not an even 2 hours. It's not an even 4 hours. It's 1 hour and 55 minutes. So I'm going to start my clock at 2:15 a.m. And I'm also going to set my end time to 2:15 a.m. Change that. Okay. So I have left it like this because I want to use the end time to make these changes. This time I'm going to hide this, and this is probably what yours might look like. You can also use this as a strategy, right? So if our time is 1 hour and 55 minutes, we can look to see that the hour hand is in between the 2 and the 3. Now, they're giving it to us. So 2:15 a.m. is where we're starting, and we're going to go forward 1 whole hour and 55 minutes. So if I wanted to go forward just 1 whole hour, I know now that the time is going to be 3:15. So I could do this, go around the clock for 1 whole hour, and now it's 3:15 a.m. Now I want to go in and I want to add the 55 minutes. So I want to move forward by, oops, that was weird, by 55 minutes. So I'm going to skip count by 5s until I get to 55 to see where I end up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So we've gone past that hour again. And I'm going to move my time to show you what I did here. So I did 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I'm not even looking over there at the left yet. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So we started at 2:15. We went forward one whole hour and we ended up at 3:15. Then we needed to go around 55 more minutes. Well, that took us past the hour again, making it now 4 o'clock or 4:10 a.m. Oopsies. Clear all my drawings, Mrs. Stevens. There we go. So 4:10 a.m. is our end time. All right. 11:55 a.m. 2 hours and 17 minutes. Well, 11:55 a.m. Oops. There we go. 11:55 a.m. And 2 hours and 17 minutes is our elapsed time here. If you need to pause to get your clock situated, remember that you can pause this video at any time. Okay, so if 2 hours and 17 minutes go by, I am going to look at the 11. It's 11 a.m. Think about what's about to happen. When you're getting really close to noon, it goes from a.m. to p.m., right? So I'm going to go around, or I'm going to go over here to the hour, and I'm going to add 2 hours to it. So I'm going to increase it by 2 hours. 1, 2. And look at that. Did you guys see that? That flipped from a.m. to p.m. Let's do it again. So right now it's a.m. Now it's p.m. And the hour has changed from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So we've gotten our hours added to the elapsed time. Now we have to include our minutes. And we need to increase our time, go forward by 17 minutes. So you could do that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 2:12 p.m. Well, alrighty then. I'm just double checking and looking right there. That looks about like what I would agree with there. So let's go over here and add our time. 2:12 p.m. All right. I guess I should erase those annotations, shouldn't I? So for elapsed time, using your clock tool, that is one way to help you find the end time. Now we're going to switch it up a little bit. We are going to find the elapsed time. We're being given the start time. We're being given the end time, but we need to figure out how much time has gone in between. So how could we do this? Let's stop and think about that for a second. This is where we are going to start needing to think about the difference between the minutes and the hours. So if I look at my end time, I'm going to have to work backwards now. And working backwards means a little bit of subtraction here. So if I'm starting at 4:42 p.m., and I think I want to zoom out just a little bit here. Okay, if I'm starting at 4:42 p.m., or if I'm ending at that time and I started at 2:30 p.m., how much time went by? Well, let's take a look at the difference between the minutes and the hours. 4 take away 2, well, we went 2 hours back. And the difference between 42 minutes and 30 minutes is 12. So I used mental math to do that. If you need to stop and use your whiteboard or a pencil and paper, you should definitely do that. The elapsed time from 2:30 p.m. to 4:42 p.m. is 2 hours, and I'm just going to annotate with an H, and 12 minutes. All right, let's look at the next one here. Our start time was 7:45 a.m. and our end time was 8:15 a.m. Well, I'm going to think about that just a little bit differently here. You know, I think I'm going to come down here and add a page so that I can do some annotations down here. Because I know that I could use my clock, and I think give me just a second. All right, third graders, I went ahead and real quick brought a clock over here to use so I can annotate it a little bit easier. I was having a hard time with that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the time on here. We've got 7:45 a.m. and we're going to 8:15 a.m. So if I've got my hour hand in between the 7 and the 8, my little short hour hand is going to probably be right there. And my minute hand should start right there at 45. So I'm going to point right here to the 45. Now, what I want to do next is I want to go ahead and move forward to 8:15 a.m. And so I know that that is not a full hour later. I can't just do some subtraction with the two numbers here. I have to think about this a little more critically because we're going from 7 o'clock all the way to 8 o'clock. So 8:15 is going to be where we've got our hour hand pointing to the 8, but now our minute hand is pointing to the 15. So all this from here to here is the time that's gone by. And some of you might be able to look at that and critically be able to say, oh, I know what that is. I know how much time has gone by. But some of you might be like me and you might need to do the math actually. So I'm going to start at the 8:15 and I'm going to skip count backwards until I get to 7:45. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So the time that has gone by is 30 minutes. So it hasn't even been a full hour. It's just the 30 minutes that has gone by. And so I'm going to come back to my page here and I am going to put down that the elapsed time from 7:45 a.m. to 8:15 a.m. is only 30 minutes. All right. Well, the next one I can see that the minutes match 17:17, and it's both PM and PM. So the only difference here is the hours, which means that whole hours have gone by. So from 2:17 p.m. to 7:17 p.m., how many hours have gone by? 2:17 to 3:17 is 1 hour. 4:17, 5:17. Are you counting on your fingers with me? Let's start over. Use your phalanges. 2:17 to 3:17 is 1 hour. So we get 3:17, 4:17, 5:17, 6:17, 7:17. I see 5 phalanges on my hand. Did you agree with my answer? Do you think that 5 hours has gone by? If you did, you're on the right track. Okay, let's keep going. From 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Again, whole hours have gone by. So let's think about that. And again, we're crossing over the midday here. So noon, we're going from a.m. to p.m. What is the next hour after 11 a.m.? 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Another way that I could think about this is I could use a number line. I could say, okay, well, I've got 10, 11 a.m. I'm going to put here for noon. You know that's 12 o'clock, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. So I could start right at my 11 o'clock and go forward all the way to 2, and I can see that 3 hours have gone by. Do you agree with my answer? If it doesn't make sense, make sure that you reach out to your teacher. Okay, the next one is again crossing that noonday hour. So we're going from a.m. to p.m. 11:55 a.m. to 4:25 p.m. Well, I think I'd like to use a number line again. So I'm going to set this up underneath here. You are probably going to need a whiteboard, dry erase marker, or a separate piece of paper. So if I start it at 11:55, I know that that's 5 minutes away from noon. So that's my 5 minutes. And if I want to go from noon all the way to our 4 o'clock hour up here, I'm going to just put those hour marks. No, thank you for the pizza song. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. So we've jumped 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. 1 hour, that didn't look good. 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour. So as of right now, we've moved forward 4 hours and 5 minutes, but we've got to go to 4:25. So I'm going to put another jump here. And I'm going to label it so I remember that it's 25 minutes. Well, if I take a look at this now, how many minutes have I jumped altogether? How much time has elapsed? 25 minutes plus 5 minutes is 30 minutes. And we already determined that we had 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours that have gone by. So 4 hours and 30 minutes. You could also use your clock tool. I just wanted to switch it up and show you that there's more than one way to do this. And some of you might already really be able to tell this using mental math. You might be proficient already, and that's fantastic if you are. All right, exercise 3 down here is asking us to find the start time. So where we were going, start, elapsed time, forward, finding the in-between, now we're going backward. It was 4:15 p.m., but 3 hours earlier, what time was it? Well, I think I'm going to keep using my number line strategy so I don't have to jump around. Or you can count using mental math. Let's go backwards. Starting at 4:15, we can go back 3:15, 2:15, 1:15. Or one whole hour back would be 3:15. 2 whole hours back would be 2:15. 3 whole hours back would be 1:15. So our start time would be 1:15 p.m. There are a lot of tools that you can use to figure out elapsed time. You've got to find the one that best fits the way that you think. Let's look at the next one. Our end time is 2:45 p.m. But if we rewind the clock and go back 15 minutes, what time would it be? Well, this is one that I could think about with some subtraction. 2:45 p.m. And if I go back 15 minutes, I don't cross the hour. So it's not going from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock. What is it going to be? Well, I think I want to look at that here. Here is the 45-minute mark right here. So if I go back 15 minutes, because 5, 10, 15, that takes us back here, pointing to the 6, which is our 30-minute time. And I think that matches what I was thinking up here. What about you? Do you agree with me? Was our start time 2:30 p.m.? I hope so. I hope you agree with me because that is correct. 2:30 p.m. Why don't you pause the video right now and see if you could figure out what the start time is for 11:55 a.m. and 3:42 a.m. Well, third graders, did you get a start time of 9:20 a.m. and 2:22 a.m.? If you didn't, that's okay. Write down this question to talk to your teacher about. Let's keep going. On this next section, we are given real-world situations where you are going to apply the skill of solving problems using elapsed time on a clock. You're going to solve and you're going to use your clock if you need to help you out with it. For students at my school, at the STEAM Academy, you know that we use DEAL. Well, in this scenario, there's really not going to be an equation. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You're still going to need to annotate. I am going to need to see some sort of a drawing, probably a number line. There is not going to be an equation, but there will be an answer and a label. So there is no equation on these problems needed to be shown. Let's look at number 4. Loretta left her friend's house at 3:45 p.m. She had been there for 2 hours and 20 minutes. What time did she get there? We always start by annotating and circling the important math numbers. So we know that her start time is 3:45 p.m. Oh, no, that's the end time, because then it says she had been there, and I'm boxing that because that's a key word, for 2 hours and 20 minutes. What time did she get there? All right, so we're going backwards. We are starting at 3:45. Okay, let's do this. We're going to do, the time was 3:45. And she had been there for 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I'm going to go backwards 2 hours. So that would be 2:45, 1:45. Do you guys see what I'm doing here? So that's 1 hour and another hour. So 2 hours. I went back 2 hours. Now the time is 1:45. And I'm going to go backwards 20 minutes. So if I go back 20 minutes, I can skip count by 5s or do it by 10s or just jump backwards a full 20 minutes. I think for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go backwards by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So I know that each of these little jumps are 5 minutes. So this is 40, 35. It doesn't look like a 5. 5, 30, and then 25. Okay, so our hour that she got there is 1:25. Let me double check. There's PM right there. So what time did she get there? She got there at 1:25 p.m. Did I annotate my problem? Yes, I did. Do I have a drawing that shows my thinking? Yes, I do. Did I find my answer and have I labeled it correctly? Yes, I did. So it's a little bit different than what you're used to if you've been in my class from how I ask you to represent these real world problems. Let's take a look at number 5. Oh, Berto. Berto spent from 3:45 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. doing math homework, and from 4:30 p.m. to 5:10 p.m. doing social studies homework. How much time did he spend on his math and social studies homework? Well, I said Berto like that because this year I have a student who sometimes his nickname is Berto. All right, let's circle the important math numbers. We know that there's some elapsed time here for math, and there's some elapsed time here for social studies. And the question is, how much time did he spend on math and social studies homework? How much what? How much time? And our labels for time can vary depending on the question. In this question, it's going to be an elapsed time that tells me how many hours and how many minutes have gone by. So I'm going to do a math a number line for math. And if it went from 3:45 p.m. to 4:15 p.m., I'm going to skip count by 15s because I know that from 3:15 to 4 o'clock is 15 minutes, and from 4 o'clock to 4:15 is 15 minutes, which means two groups of 15, he spent 30 minutes total on his math. And so I'm going to write that right here and circle that. Now let's look at social studies. He went from 4:30 to 5:10. Well, I know that from 4:30 to 5 o'clock evenly, and see how I'm using this landmark number? That's 30 minutes that's gone by. And from 5 o'clock to 5:10, well, that's 10 minutes that's gone by. So 30 minutes plus 10 minutes gives me a total of 40 minutes that's gone by. The question is, how much time did he spend on his math and social studies homework? So I need to take these two numbers here, the 30 minutes and the 40 minutes, and I need to combine them. Well, 30 plus 40, I'm going to add the lead numbers, 3 plus 4, 7. So we could answer this two ways. We could say 70 minutes, but we know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. So I could also say 1 hour and 10 minutes, which would actually be more accurate. How much time did Berto spend on his math and social studies homework? 1 hour and 10 minutes. Well, if you take a look at how much clutter there is right here for me to show my work, you can see why I would highly recommend using a separate sheet of paper to show your work. There really isn't a whole lot of room here for me to do this without it feeling a little bit cluttered. I'm going to keep going. Ideally, if I were face-to-face with you, I would ask you to be doing this in a group with a partner or by yourself. So if you want to stop the video, try these on your own and come back to compare your answer with my answer, that certainly is a good strategy. Let's keep going. Number 6. Ed arrived at a biking trail at 9 a.m. He biked for 1 hour and 45 minutes. He spent 20 minutes riding home. What time did he get home? Well, step 1 is always going to be annotating. And I don't like how this is invading my privacy here. Let's circle it a little bit better there. All right. So he arrived at the biking trail at 9 a.m. He biked for an elapsed time of 1 hour and 45 minutes. Then he spent 20 minutes riding home. What time did he get home? Okay, well, I'm going to use my number line. So if he arrived there at 9 a.m. and he biked for 1 hour and 45 minutes, let's represent that here. So 1 hour makes it 10 a.m. and 45 minutes makes the time now 10:45. Then he spent another 20 minutes riding home. So if I move forward 20 minutes, What is our end time? Well, 10:45, 45. I'm going to skip count. 45, 50, 55, 11, 11:05. Did you hear me pause? I had to pause because we went from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. I couldn't just say 45, 50, 55, 60, 65 because I crossed that hour mark. If you need to look at a clock, use your analog clock for this. Use your iTool clock. I could also have done this. Let's try it here. So if I go to 9 a.m., I probably could have moved the hour hand a little bit quicker, couldn't I have? So if I go to 9 a.m. and I want to ride the bike for 1 hour, 45 minutes, I could go around the clock 1 whole hour and then keep going for 45 minutes. I'm not that great at arranging that there. So, but I want to make sure that this matches what I want over here. So I want to keep going for 20 minutes. So I could move it forward and recognize that when I'm skip counting and I'm going 5, 10, 15, 20, I want my minute hand to be pointing at the 1 here. 5, 10, 15, 20. And our time is now 11:05 a.m. And that matches what I got over here on my number line. So the question was, what time did he get home? He got home at 11:05 a.m. Number 7. Mario finished swimming at 10:45 a.m. He swam for 1 hour and 15 minutes. What time did he start? So they're giving us our end time of 10:45 a.m. They're telling us the elapsed time, and they're asking his start time. I've annotated my problem. Now I'm ready to figure this out. So I'm going to use a number line. And here we go. And I know since it's the end time, I'm going to put the 10:45 back here. 10:45. Notice I'm not taking care with the dots, and I'm not always going to be writing AM on here, but I'm writing down what's important to me. All right. If you need to do that, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's go back 1 whole hour. So when I go back 1 hour, that takes us to 9:45. I don't like the way that 5 looks. 9:45. And if I go back another 15 minutes, and if I go back another 15 minutes from 9:45, I could count backwards. 45, 40, 35, 30 to get me to 9:30. Or I could have subtracted that 15 minutes from the 9:45. And that would have gotten me the same time that I arrived at using the number line here. So what time did Mario start swimming? Well, what I've got is that he started swimming at 9:30. Don't forget to label your answer AM. Number 8. Eric has basketball practice from 3:30 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. He has violin practice at 5:30 p.m. Today, basketball practice ended 30 minutes late, and it takes Eric 15 minutes to walk to violin practice. What time? Oh, no. Will he be on time? Explain. I started to read that wrong. Well, let's go in and let's annotate our problem. Let's circle the important math numbers. So we've got 3:30 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. He has violin practice at 5:30. But basketball practice ended 30 minutes late. And I'm going to box in late because that's giving me some information. And it takes Eric 15 minutes to walk to violin. Is he going to be on time? Explain. So if we set ourselves up for this, we know that Eric has to be someplace by 5:30. So that's our target. We want to be able to get him to violin practice by 5:30. But he has basketball practice until 4:15 p.m. So we know basketball practice went from 3:30 to 4:15. So we need to know if this elapsed time here is going to get him to violin late or on time. So if basketball practice actually ended 30 minutes late, we've got a problem here because he's not even leaving at 4:15. What time is he leaving? What's 30 minutes past 4:15? If you said 4:45, you are correct. So he's leaving practice late at 4:45. Then it takes him 15 minutes to walk to practice. So if we jump ahead another 15 minutes while he's walking, I want to put the M by there, 4:45, an elapsed time of 15 minutes means that it's now 5 o'clock. So practice let out late, and he actually left at this time. It took him 15 minutes to walk to violin. Did he get there on time? I'm going to let you explain that answer, because whenever your teacher asks you to explain, they want you to use your words to answer the question to the best of your ability. Your check for understanding should not be neglected. Make sure that you complete this for your teacher. Explain how you could find the elapsed time between 3:15 p.m. and 4:45 p.m. Today I've shown you a lot of strategies. I want you to tell me about what strategies you learned. Don't forget, your teacher is waiting for you to ask questions. So when you have a question, ask your teacher. That's what they want. They want to help you learn and grow.